Welcome back to the NXL Event E1. This is Saturday action here on the Premier Field. We're going to watch PMOB versus Denver Altitude. PMOB just came off of an absolute stomping in their and I mean in their favor in the last match. So they got a lot of momentum on their side coming into this one. I'm joined in the booth. I forgot to mention you, Dan Sensi. Dan, you're just a natural part of the booth. I'm joined in the booth by Dan Sensi of Miami Effect.
So we are looking at Denver getting shot on the break, trying to hit Snake 1. So CJ Chamber off the field early.
PMOB makes the push up the middle.
Another loss for Denver. That's not what you wanted. Is now 3 on 5. And Denver is as wide as the home on the Snake side.
PMOB also kind of playing a pocket play with a push up the middle. They seem content not to spread it out, but if they're getting kills, they don't really need to.
And I think they know the situation now that they've seen 2 players come off, because that center wedge is only shooting at the back center player for Denver. He's completely cutting off that fill.
Here we go. First move out by PMOB into the D1. I think he makes it clean.
So Denver now set up the back center.
Well, as you say that, they instantly fill out to their death.
Yeah, that's another loss. So it's a 1 on 5. Towel time. Yep, there it is.
PMOB got 2 early kills and then just hunkered down and just won gunfights, basically.
I think that guys filled into spots that were being covered.
Yeah.
I didn't see what happened on the Dorito side, but that's definitely happened with Denver when he tried to fill from the home into the Snake insert and just got picked up by the center wedge that was just hammering that zone.
Yeah, the Denver Altitude ran to their deaths when they were at every point in that game, basically. I saw lots of death on transitions.
So, yeah.
All right, we're going to jump over to D5. This is a semifinal game between Protocol and Revolution.
All right. It's an unusual split deck.
It is an unusual split deck. The league uses the Premier Field also to give a chance to some of the other divisions when they feel they have a game that they want to highlight. So we cover more than we do everything here. We cover more than just WNXL and Semi-Pro. We do a little bit of it all. Also, tomorrow we'll get a lot of the finals games for some of the other divisions.
Absolutely.
Which is, I think, awesome, because if you're a D4, and you're in the finals, you deserve some spotlight.
Absolutely.
All right, so Protocol on your left, Revolution on your right. These teams met yesterday in one of the prelims.
Revolution playing a pretty hard pocket.
Giant run.
Extending to the Dorito 1 and getting shot.
Protocol spreads wide right off the break, doing a great job. Still 5 alive.
The entire Dorito side for Revolution is now eliminated. And with Protocol moving up to that center wedge, just cutting off that side, they're in bad shape.
So Protocol got those early kills without dedicating a bunch of guns to sitting and shooting. They made their runs, and they still got kills on the breakout.
Yeah, it is now 3 on 5 by my count.
Yeah, it is 5 over here alive for Protocol. They're up in the Snake, now Snake corner, pushing the Doritos.
3 on 2. Protocol is 5 on 2, and they are stacked in the Snake tower and the Snake insert. And that's another one. You should tell this immediately.
Yeah, that's out of it. Now, the clock is a little bit shorter for Div 5. Instead of I think they have a 10-minute clock, if I'm not mistaken.
What's our mercy rule in Division 5?
So that's 3? The next thing. It is 3. So because
a 10-minute clock and 3 for mercy 3 is a long clock.
Yeah, so I'm not as much worried about clock saving if you're playing this D5 division as you would be in, say, Semi-Pro, but still, it's worth tallying out if you know it's an unwinnable situation. All right, we're going to flip back over to Denver Altitude versus PMOB. PMOB convincingly won that first point. A couple kills early, and then they sat down and just finished them off. I'm seeing Jake Thorne taking the field.
I think I saw Derul out there and Rosati.
And 420 is... He's got the height. It might be Matt Kobashian.
Yeah, it's Kobashian.
Nice.
He's everybody else has a number on their jersey that matches.
Matt had an awful knee injury last year at Atlantic City. It's really good to see him back out here playing.
That's... Be interested to see if Denver tries to reach again. But it looks like they're going to go play pocket.
A lot of heavy guns here for Altitude.
They do try to reach, make it alive.
Altitude into the Snake. He's asking for a check.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
No.
CJ again getting shot on the break. But PMOB, is in the Snake. So they do extend to the Snake and make it.
Altitude counters by into the Snake themselves.
That's
PMOB further up.
Dylan White getting a good dominance on the center bunker, who I didn't see where. It's easier to see because the The left side is a little closer to us. Yeah, let's go Bastion in the Snake Tower.
I thought you were going to say Kardashian the Snake, and I'm like, that's not
No,
happening.
it's not.
The man's way too big for that.
Yeah, he's in the Snake Tower, but he's playing cross right now, so.
Dylan White here in the Snake for altitude. A little bit cautious trying to move up. To be honest, PMOB does not have a gun from that tower dedicated down the Snake. I'd like to see a little more aggression out of Dylan.
And that height is going to help Denver out a lot.
Yeah, he's got his gun perched up on his shoulder.
That is an extreme angle. He is waiting on that gap. He doesn't know there. I don't know who that is for PMOB in the Snake.
I believe that's Sammy Lana. He's been doing great work in the Snake.
I did see him on the box. So.
Yeah, he's been doing great work
I
on
don't
the
think
Snake.
he knows that the center wedge for Denver is hot. So, and
yeah, he's in danger.
if he tries to go, oh, and PMOB does lose a player. Looks like maybe their front attack Dorito. Yes, that would be their front attack Dorito.
There you go, kill one for Denver. Altitude, as you mentioned. Altitude with 4 alive themselves.
Oh, so Lana does know he's in there now. So he just popped the top and took a look at him.
Dylan here for Altitude is having a little bit of gun problem, and he's going to take one. That's a big kill.
Yeah, now they have the wire to themselves. Oh, but I think that's Sammy? Sammy Berry filling out.
He's going to get a check, though. I'm not sure he's going to stay in there.
Yeah, and yeah, that's might be towel time here.
I guess.
Oh, but no, there is a player for Denver in the 50 Dorito, and he is shooting people. And I don't think PMOB knows he's in there.
Well, PMOB does a drop back, and
So
they're into
if
that.
Lana moves forward, like,
There you
oh,
go.
here he sees him
See the pack?
and gets the
Catches
elimination.
some nice
He does
work
get the
by
elimination.
Sammy. He might run into a gun
Sammy's
here, though.
No, Sammy, you got to go with your gun up there, bud. You know he's there. I don't know where your gun's pointed at the ground.
That's unfortunate.
So that at least if you see that bot, you can trade. You know,
Yeah,
they'll have the bodies to win, but you won't get shot out like that.
I'm fairly certain that Barry saw Sammy right in front
He
of
knew
him.
he was, but
Yeah.
he came around the outside of the Dorito with his gun pointed at the ground.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, I don't think it matters. Because
It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, even if he traded with him, the PMOB would have been fine with that. So.
There is the element that you catch him off guard, dodge a ball, and you're
yeah.
alive.
Yeah, you're right.
There
Yeah.
is, you know,
Yeah, it could happen.
1 in a million.
Never happens in my career, but probably in yours. All right, Revolution versus Protocol. Protocol easily took that first point. Revolution's looking for a bounce back here. I'm seeing Hansel Perez and Thomas Pointer taking the field for Revolution.
Yeah, I see a 44. That's Brandon Coffers out there. He was playing.
Brandon put in some good work yesterday on the
Yeah,
field.
I saw him. Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah, he's definitely one of their weapons. Revolution trying to get in the Snake. Drives a little bit short, but I think he gets away with it.
Protocol makes it straight into the Snake 1, and he immediately bumps outside to the brick. I love that move.
Revolution dedicating more resources over here to this Snake side. We got Hansel Perez up here in the S2. They've got the standing wedge in the middle and the Snake Tower. Snake Tower is occupied by number 17. That's Trace Muzzy, or T-Money as they like to call him.
Yeah, so with Revolution being really strong in the center.
Oh, when they just lost their Dorito one. Sorry, go on.
They're strong in the center, so that's really stopping the Snake player from moving forward. And he's looking for it, but I can see paint skipping off the ground in front of him.
Well, as you say that, Revolution's going to lose their Snake Tower. So that was the Snake Tower that was doing good work holding down the Dorito
We've
side.
got 2 Protocol players walking off.
So Revolution has 3 players left, not only 1 player looking Dorito side. Now he's going to transition out there to that D1. That's a good move.
Protocol now with the Dorito Temple, the Snake Side Tower, and the Snake Brick. Perez might catch the Snake player sleeping over here on the wire. He might be able to.
Yeah, you're right. He's unaware of Perez's presence. There it is.
He does hit him. The ref is calling him out.
No.
He's going to get a penalty right now.
You're right.
The referee called him out.
I think
the referee pointed his. That should have been a minor.
I think he
at
was
minimum.
Hit on I think he was hit on his belt.
At minimum, when the referee calls him out and he stands up over the top, he's playing on.
I can't speak to whether or not there's a hit. I just said that he had a hit on his belt. That was
I don't know if there's a hit or not,
No,
but the
it's
referee clearly pointed him
right.
out.
You're right. He does have an orange label on his
Well,
butt
we're
pack.
shooting yellow out here.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I meant green. It's like it's close to this color. There is going to be a minor on Revolution, though. Perez is going to get yanked. Perez is like, what did I do, man?
His teammate did something.
Yeah.
Was it a talking minor? I don't know if we get an explanation there. Yeah.
He is not happy with himself.
Yep, that's...
Mr. Pointer, calm down. Yes, you made a mistake. It's not the end of the world.
Just the end of the point.
All right, after this, you're going to watch we're going to move into the WNXL portion of our day. You're going to see San Francisco Sirens take on Tiki Zohana and Dallas 5 taking on the Femmes Fatale.
Good looking lineup there in the afternoon.
Sorry to the WNXL, you're going to be playing in the heat of the afternoon.
It was nice yesterday. I think it's going to be hot today.
It's still not horrible. Again, we're talking Florida. This could be much, much worse. So
it could be.
Yeah, but it is still hot, no doubt.
But I think it's going to get, the sun is just going to start roasting down and cooking the ground. Now we're going to get a radiator from the bottom. It's going to be
going to
get warm.
There's a plus side. It might dry out the ground and increase sliding because right now players trying to dive on this they're not having success. They hit the ground and you come to a dead stop real fast.
So my experience this morning was pretty okay on it. I didn't dive on it, but
it's a bit of a clay, kind of a moist clay feeling out there.
Yeah, the moisture on the grass made it easier, but the ground is getting pretty beat up.
Yeah.
We're starting to get less grass, more dirt. So to slide, we're going to start need to get into mudland.
There is some rain predicted tomorrow, or there has been, so we might get the mud bowl you're looking for.
No, the mud bowl's terrible. I'd rather stick.
Yeah, I agree.
And Florida's pretty sandy, so it does okay with
draining out.
With draining out, but all right. So 30 seconds on the break still.
P-Mob on your left, Altitude on the right. Altitude looking for answers on this. Frankly, the first thing that Altitude needs to do is not die in the break. They're losing too many bodies in the first 5 seconds of the game.
Absolutely. If I were them, I would stop extending. They've shot you twice on both of the routes. You went shallow, got shot, went deep, got shot. Shots are on point. You got to live and try to contain and maybe win a gunfight, but certainly live to be able to do that.
There we go. Dan's calling for a triple up at home.
Blind spot and a double. So we have a double home, the snake insert, and a snake tower. So we do go pocket.
P-Mob 5 alive. They double up the snake tower, which we have seen a few times. It's risky. 5 alive, though. They are in a D1. If you're doubling up the snake tower, you can't stay there long. You got to get a player out, and that out is to up the middle.
Well, right now, the player on the outside isn't getting any pressure back. He's throwing him off the snake beam at the snake insert, and the snake insert really can't engage. So right now, CJ is dealing with 2 guns looking at him. I think it's Mike Scordo in the back Dorito side insert. And they're going to... Oh, and they get one of... the Dorito side for Denver Altitude is moving forward. They're in the Dorito 3 now.
P-Mob loses one of those 2 those snake tower players. As we said, you can't stay there long doubled up. It's fine early on in the game, but the longer you stay there, you're going to lose a player.
So the snake tower for P-Mob went inside.
Oh, no.
No. Double.
The worst case scenario, an accidental double up of that snake corner for P-Mob. That snake corner is hard to live with 1 player. No way with 2.
Yeah, that's a questionable decision.
I think he should have went into the snake.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you're already 80% of the way there.
Yeah. It's shorter.
Whether his teammate's there or not, what are we trying here?
Yeah, bad luck on that timing, but also not the best choice.
Okay, so P-Mob does make it into the snake, and I don't see anybody shooting the shots, so I got to think they don't know.
He's free. Nobody's on top of him. Altitude's going to take this snake corner.
So did P-Mob lose their snake corner?
They did.
Okay, so it's a 2-on-4.
Yeah, P-Mob has the D1 and this S3.
Chamber getting checked out in the snake.
That's Derula working the snake for P-Mob. He's going to do a little bit of a drop back while his teammate pushes up to D2.
So now Denver's 2 in the Snake against a Snake 2 and a Dorito 2.
This PMOB player in the Dorito has to win this battle with a 50 over there for, yeah, and he does. And not a trade.
So he wins a gunfight. He wins a gunfight.
Huge kill. Huge kill.
And another Denver player getting looked at. Nope,
PMOB
just getting bird dogged by a ref.
PMOB was teetering the edge there. That is a huge kill from the Dorito side up to that 50. However, they've reoccupied the Dorito side for altitude. Here's a crash.
Oh,
Here's
okay.
A car crash.
Shadows. Trade.
Yeah. 99% of the time it's going to be a trade there.
But with, can't see who that is. It might be Kyle Weaver.
The Dorito is not aware. Now the Dorito knows.
Did he hit him? Did he get him?
No,
He did not.
No. PMOB player still alive.
And Kyle
And
Weaver
there it
picks
goes.
up the kill, and they're going to put their first point on the board to get this to 2-1. So really, really good job by Kyle Weaver figuring that out.
So I shouldn't be critical of PMOB because I got to go home to New England and they'll be there waiting for me. But I'm going to do it anyways for you, the people of the webcast. PMOB, 2 mistakes for that game. 1, staying doubled up in that snake tower for that long is not going to work. You can do it as a trick early on in the game, but you've got to get one of those 2 players out of there. Mistake number 2, which was a bit of a scramble, so I'm not so harsh about, was the drop back from the tower that accidentally ended up doubling up the worst bunker on the entire field. There's no coming back from that one. There you go, PMOB. Come at me.
Well, that low body situation, they did play well.
Yeah.
If the Snake player had managed to shoot his opposition clean, because I don't think CJ knew he was in there initially until right at the moment of the exchange.
Yeah. Even if he doesn't know, if your barrels are even vaguely pointed at each other at that that proximity, you're probably going to end up shooting each other out. It's very tough in that super close environment.
Yeah, I did see CJ jump to try and put one on his loader.
Yep.
But then he missed or couldn't get the
committed.
angle and just went for it.
Protocol up by 2. They're going to be on your left.
And Revolution.
Protocol into the snake and D2 right off the break. Very aggressive breakouts. For
Revolution
Protocol.
losing their Dorito runner on the break. But the back center getting checked. Oh, but losing their snake tower as well. Protocol
5 alive.
They've been significantly better on the break.
They've been, and you know what? They're not only more aggressive on the break, they're getting kills on the break. That's a weird magic sauce that you usually can't do both.
And they're in the snake.
Very
and they've
aggressive.
peeled off 2 players, maybe 3 now because their snake insert is eliminated, and the back center.
That's Jordan Salisbury up the middle.
And Revolution can't towel this because that ends the game, right?
Jordan's going to take a walk.
Oh, and they do.
Karika trying to finish it out.
Yeah, and they do.
Yeah. Brandon Coffers telling him, just chill, dude. Chill, dude.
Yeah, so.
Save your energy.
I mean, that's
it.
Was that prelims?
That is a semifinal.
Okay, so they're moving to finals.
So Revolution is probably done. Protocol moving on, unless there's some kind of consolation bracket. Protocol is moving on, I would assume, to the finals or another semifinal bracket. There's a good chance we're going to see Protocol back here tomorrow for one of the divisional final games.
It looks like PMOB sending out roughly the same crew. Rosati and Darula, both out there.
Based on the height, I'm assuming that's Kildashian again.
Yeah, he's got it. Well,
no,
he hasn't turned around. He hasn't turned around yet. So,
as a player, I think he's doing great. I disagree with you, Dan. All right, Denver Altitude taking the field themselves. They got 10 seconds. They only got a couple. Now, do they ever in the box? Yeah, they do. Okay, Denver Altitude 5 to the box. Altitude doubling up home. They do make a run to D1. Get there alive. 5 alive Altitude players. That's a big deal.
PMOB loses 2 on the break. Their snake runner and their home, which is an unusual person to lose. So somebody was shooting off the Dorito side of the home and shooting back up the center.
So 4-on-3 advantage for Altitude. They do lose their first Dorito runner. Pushing up the middle.
So that's a 3rd body off. And
wow. Altitude
Dylan White. Absolutely. CJ Shamber getting the kill there. So this will go 2-2 in favor of Denver. CJ's going to clear the field, but that is everybody.
So Altitude did exactly what PMOB had been doing to them, getting a couple kills off the break and then finishing it out.
Yeah, much better off the break shooting for Denver that match.
Yep.
So both teams' lanes seem to be pretty dialed in.
So that might mean it's time for Coach Noel Tran of PMOB to switch up the runouts.
Yeah,
if Altitude's figured out their runout pattern.
Here's the thing. Dylan White is player coaching.
Oh, is he really?
Yes.
Okay,
so,
I think you're right. I think they refer to themselves as some kind of weird hive mind of players and coaches.
Yeah, they'll all go back and talk about it, create their play, go back to one of their 5 plays, and then put a variation on it if needed.
I'd like to say that's old school paintball, but I got to be really honest. I'm still playing on teams that we don't have coaches. We just kind of like, go back to the pits. We'll figure it out, or we won't figure it out. But one way or another, we're not paying a coach.
Hey, maybe you just get a friend to come out and learn the game and not play.
Look, we have a hard enough time finding pod runners for some of the teams I play with. You think we can afford to get a coach? No.
Pod running is the worst.
It is its own thing. We saw a penalty yesterday on a late pod runner getting back out of the field. He was in the middle of the field when the game started. He was absolutely
that's
blocking
deserving
lanes.
of a penalty. Yeah, it's deserving of a penalty.
It is. The last time I've seen a penalty on a pod runner? Never. It's the first time in my life I've seen it happen.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen it a couple times. But yeah, realistically, I think if the pod runner is out of bounds on the
they're
on
out
the
of the
pit
line
side
of fire.
field,
Nobody cares.
Along the back line, I would still think because you see a
suspect.
body, and that can throw off the other team.
Yeah, you aim.
But
for
if
it.
you're in the corner zone near your pit, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think even if you're up against a net and you're staying out of the line of fire, generally the refs ignore it. They don't get too broken up about it. But if you're running through the middle of the field, that's a problem. All right, we are in XBALL now, so these teams are going to get 2 minutes before each point and go back on. 2 minutes sounds like we're giving them more time, but the fact that the other match isn't going on, it's a lot less time. Things just got real frantic in the pits. So Denver Altitude doing a good job bringing this back to 2-2. PMOB, I believe, is 1-2 on the weekend so far, which means it's unlikely they're going to make the playoffs. Even with a win here, they would need a lot to go their way. PMOB this time chooses to double up the mini temple near the snake.
Which can absolutely be deadly.
Yeah.
Because now you have 2 guns holding back.
I think of it as it's a staging to get a guy into the snake. I assume that's what they're doing it for.
Well, it looks like they're playing it cross to preserve the Dorito side as well. So when I'd seen it before, there's a snake player playing low, and somebody else trying to help him beat in a 2-on-1 situation against the mirror to get him pushed through. But they look like they're sitting intentionally in that spot.
Yeah, you're right. When I see both knees on the ground, that tells me nobody's in a hurry to move. And they're digging in there.
Is that Lena in the temple?
It would likely be Sam Lana because he's their snake player, so it's the best guess. I can't see a jersey number right now. So PMOB being a little bit more conservative here, both in the breakouts. That mini temple with 2 players in it is getting awfully small now. And there it is. It's too small to keep both alive. They're down 1 body now. Altitude has taken the snake. They pushed up to S2. This is a more conservative PMOB game plan, and right now it's not working. Still 4-on-5, so it's not like all hope is lost, but I think PMOB was hoping that Altitude would get sloppy and run through some guns, and right now that's not happening. Now they're going to lose their snake tower.
So now it's a 3-on-1, 2,
3-on-5, I think.
5. Yeah, I still have 5 out there. Dorito 3, Dorito 1, snake tower, and in the snake, and then another body over there on the Dorito side.
Yeah, and PMOB now just has the D2 and the mini temple, the snake insert.
And with CJ Chamber here in the snake, wrapping it, he should pick him up super easy.
There you go. Coach Tran towels out of that one. So we're in XBALL. You're going to have about 2 minutes between each point. PMOB's going to go back, change up the game plan because that game plan did not work. They chose to come out conservative. They again chose to double up something. This time they doubled up the what we're calling the snake insert or the mini temple over here on the snake side. I will say it again, and maybe because it made me sound good when I said it out there during that game, I don't think there's many bunkers except home that you can double up on this field and stay alive there for long. If you want to double it up as a certain, I don't know, almost trick play, that's great, but you can only do it for about 10 seconds before you got to get out of there. So P-Mob's got to reset, try to figure out a different game plan. It certainly didn't help they didn't get any kills on the break.
No, and those middle spots are incredibly difficult to shoot on the break.
Yeah.
There's so much crap in the middle that they're hard to hit.
A lot of vision blockers. What I if I was a coach, and nobody wants that, what I would do is try to figure out how to get a guaranteed kill on the run into that snake tower, because every single game you know your opponent's going to be going to the snake tower. So fine, I
don't think you can guarantee that kill.
I wish there's got to be something.
There's an inside shot over a pin but
it's blind.
It's completely blind. You can't see it. So if you can go to the outside, maybe wrap and shoot in, but then you're just asking to be shot.
Yeah,
it's very, very difficult to hit that player when they run their route correctly.
So it's frustrating as a coach when you see an opponent doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you can't punish him for it, and that's one of them.
Yeah, there's just spots on this field they're almost impossible to shoot on the break when it's run correctly.
Dan, you want to take a promo spot? Here, go for it. No? AlabamaPaintball.com.
AlabamaPaintball.com.
Come on, Dan.
Now it's all you.
You're so close to a well-rounded webcaster. This is your last hurdle. So thank you for sponsoring us, AlabamaPaintball.com. If you're watching this and you're in that area, give a chance, go check out their website. Trot on over. They can host most of anything that you have to do with paintball. You got, obviously, youth groups. Birthday party is the big draw for most. How many of us started with a birthday party as our first ever paintball?
I imagine a lot did, but it wasn't me.
About half. No, me neither, but I bet it's about half of the sport. And they started with a birthday party somewhere. So, AlabamaPaintball.com. Go check them out.
So, yeah, P-Mob's still rolling roughly the same line. I see Lana and Brodell out there.
Yeah, Brodell getting the spin. I see Jake Thorne taking a walk out there. Sam Lana.
Wouldn't be shocked to see a Rosati and a...
Maybe chuck a Derula into the mix somewhere.
No, Calbishian isn't out there.
No, the sun would be blocked out by that 7'5" man.
So P-Mob tries to... Nope, they go only... Yeah, P-Mob does extend into the snake, and he makes it alive. Asks the ref for a check and gives him the all cool. So we have 5-on-5.
Yeah, Denver altitude alive. A bit of a pocket play. They're still doubled up at home. They do take that snake tower. Snake tower's looking Dorito side.
Yeah.
Certainly advantage P-Mob here with the snake
and
presence.
Just absolutely gets demolished. And their center player getting a penalty at the same time.
That's going to rip out their snake tower.
Yeah, that is 3 deaths instantaneously.
P-Mob's going to be instantly down to 5-on-3.
5-on-2.
5-on-2, I'm sorry, you're right. Denver altitude pushing the snake.
And they see where everything is, and so it's Dorito 1 and a snake insert against a lot of bodies. And they are good spots to defend out of, but
it's not bad.
It's just so much paint. And yeah, they do lose their snake insert and they concede. Save their Dorito 1.
That's a shame because P-Mob had a better game plan that one. That's a shame for P-Mob. Good work, Denver altitude. I don't want to take anything away from you. That's a shame for P-Mob because they ditched that previous game plan, which didn't work at all. They came out with something that was working better, but that penalty just got
what's interesting is that it wasn't the break shooting that won him that point.
Yeah.
It had been in the previous two. And maybe the center runner who went all the way to the Dorito side wedge got shot on the break and thus got the minor. But they made the snake on the break, and he lost a gunfight.
I'm going to sound like I'm defensive of P-Mob. I'm actually defending a lot of the penalties you see out here this weekend. So when you're watching this at home, if you're not a hardcore paintball player, which if you're not, welcome. Thanks for watching us. And you see a flag go up, I think you've noticed what never has come out of our mouth this weekend is the word cheater. There's this implication that somebody gets a flag, well, they were cheating. No. That's not how it works in this sport. If you are cheating, you get caught. Yeah, you're going to get a flag. But if you take a hit, and you don't know it, which is absolutely possible with a hit on your pack with one of these hard plastic pods or your hopper.
Happens all the time.
It happens all the time. You don't notice it, but a ref notices it. You're probably going to get a penalty for that because it means you were continuing to play with a hit. You had by your very presence, you had an effect on the game.
And the rule book does expressly say it's better for you to stop playing for 5 seconds and ask a referee to look than it
Absolutely.
is.
Absolutely. But some
the
of
rulebook
those
says that.
Some of those hits, as a matter of fact, a lot of those hits, the player is completely unaware. So there's no intention to cheat, but they're on the field with a hit on them because they didn't feel it on a hard plastic, pod on their butt pack.
Yeah, but they felt paint coming that way.
Yeah.
And you need to glance down or look at a ref and just be like, hey, am I cool? You feel the paint coming.
That is a fully valid response because the truth is a veteran paintball player, even though they technically can't feel it, you kind of can feel little vibrations. You're pretty good at
or at least just knowing you got shot at on a blind side. They're shooting at my pack and you scooch in.
For a new player, that's not so much. For veteran players like this,
they're reffing these guys significantly harder than the D5 guys.
Yeah.
All right, so
P-Mob into Snake on the run out. He's going to lose the contents of his hopper, though.
Asking for a check, though. I don't see anything.
He's just being cut down.
They do pull him out.
Okay, good ask for a check.
That's what you do. You got shot at even though you don't know. And maybe he did know and just wanted to be in there a second longer.
P-Mob definitely has decided to come out with a more aggressive game plan the second he died.
Are 4-on-4.
Refill instantly into the Snake. P-Mob fills out to this
CJ Sandberg,
Snake
the referee, is getting into his business right now, but clean.
They're exchanging DNA over there in the Snake.
We are 4-on-4. I think this is Lana in front of us. I can't see his number. It's tough. They don't have number. Luke.
Nope, it's Isaac Luke.
And he's going to go up and shoot inside. So we do have Snake to Snake 4-on-4.
Isaac is kill hunting. I don't think he's finding anything. He's shooting down the gut of the Snake, but it's not really anybody there. Isaac would be well advised to bump over here to the Snake.
Trying to find the other body for Denver Altitude. I can't see.
Isaac's going to bypass the brick, cross onto their side of the field.
It looks to be the Dorito. Yeah, it's the Dorito insert, the Snake insert, the home, and the Snake for Denver. And Luke is up in their business right now.
Isaac's about to get bunkered.
And does he get him clean? He doesn't. They trade. Oh, no.
Oh, that's a major.
They threw a major.
Oof.
That is.
Ooh, that is gutting
not
for
what
Altitude.
You want. Yeah.
Frankly, I was going to say Isaac made a little mistake. They're not backing up after he missed the shot on the home, but didn't matter. He drew them right into a major.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this brick blocks our view of what happened.
Yeah.
Because that looked from without seeing the actual who got shot first situation.
But Isaac may not have been the one that shot him at all. It could have been a back player for P-Mob that caught that Altitude player on the run-up.
Well, I mean, it looks like Chamber only has hits on his back.
Well, that could have been walking off. Yeah, I don't know. So, as a matter of fact, I would argue that if Isaac was looking the wrong way, I think that increases the chance of it being a major.
It could be.
Right? Because it means one of the P-Mob players caught the Altitude player.
Yeah,
on the
I'd have to run that back and look where the back players were looking. You can't see everything out here all the time.
Yeah.
Half the time it's hard enough to see when everybody's standing still.
It is a lot of pressure on these refs to figure out these situations. So, by the way, if you're reffing, if you're listening to me and you do reffing yourself, can I give you a little hint on dealing with those close-up situations? When you see it coming as a ref and you know it's coming, you know the bunkering move is coming, always, always, always look at the defender quick before the attacker gets there. Because you're going to look at the defender, you're going to see which way their gun is pointing, and that's going to be huge to letting you know whether you're about to throw a penalty or not.
Absolutely.
If the defender's gun is generally pointing the way of the bunkering that's coming at them, it's almost always going to be a simple trade. Both players are going to go.
And refereeing and seeing that is incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
I would argue that seeing that correctly is just as hard as calling balls and strikes in the MLB.
Without that kind of pre-knowledge of which way the defender was pointing, and you're just trying to rely on your sight, it's next to impossible. Because as a ref, how can you look at both players to see who got shot first?
Yeah, and the paintballs are literally traveling 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's impossible.
At that speed, they haven't had any drop-off in velocity from shooting 180 feet.
So that's why I think as a ref it's so important that you look at the defender who doesn't know a bunkering's coming and you make note of which way he's looking. Because if he's looking the wrong way, then I'm getting ready to throw a penalty on that defender if he spins and shoots. If he's looking the correct way, even by accident, I'm much more likely to just call it as a clean trade.
Mm-hmm.
There's Coach Knoll.
Strutting over, trying to figure out, is P-Mob, are we in good shape? Or is Denver starting with 4? Are they starting with 5?
So we got 2.5. I think they had enough to cover that penalty.
I do, because I think it was 5.
Yeah.
No, it was 4-on-4, but so that would have been the player who got the penalty, and then 2 more, and then there would have been a 1.
I think there was 1 more, yeah.
So they should be good. We should see 5-on-5 paintball here.
So P-Mob down by 1 point, 2.5, which is plenty of time.
We have 40 seconds. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It looks like Denver might be considering a timeout here. We have 30 seconds, and it's far side. So, all right. So C.J. Chamber on his way out. So Kyle Weaver.
I think you're right.
Will Coonan.
They're rolling out.
They'll make it.
Boy, as a player, it makes me nervous tagging up to the box that late. I'm one of those, I'm always going to be at the box as early as possible. I hate tagging up with only like 5 seconds on the clock. Hate it.
You know, if everybody knows their job, if I'm not running, it doesn't bother me. It sucks to run to the box and then have to sprint to a front bunker.
Yeah. The refs actually stopped the clock.
Well, that was nice of them.
Yeah, that's service. Altitude might have tipped. I'm going to start a controversy.
So Scordo and Dylan White out there as well against, can't tell. Just a little number somewhere on the front half at all would be super helpful. It's easy to know when they walk by. 57, Kyle Weaver.
Kyle Weaver taking the run. God, how many pods does he have on his back?
The correct amount.
I think I'd have a collapsed disc by carrying that much paint.
And you know that I see Alex. Is that Alex Rosati or John? John Rosati, right?
Can't see.
No, it's John Derula out
John
there.
Derula.
And it is Alex Rosati. So we are 5-on-5, it looks like. I don't see a referee indicating anything.
Nope, 5-on-5. Altitude with a relatively simple breakout. They spread wide across the back. They're going to lose their front player. 57, Weaver taking a walk. See, he had too many pods, I told you.
Did he get shot in his back?
I don't know.
Or did he lose the gunfight to the Dorito one?
I don't know. All right, so Altitude, a very simple spread across the back. They've got all the backline bunkers here. I don't like it because P-Mob is up a body. There's got 2 minutes on the clock, and you as Altitude have not taken any territory away from them. This is not a good situation for you.
Well, nobody's in the snake yet, and nobody's pushed up the field for P-Mob. So, we're at a pretty grindy point right now.
Yeah. All it takes is that one. It's the snake. That one snake.
It can happen through the Dorito and center, but it's very uncommon.
There's not much.
Scordo's in the back center getting a lot of pressure.
There's not much looking up the middle for Denver Altitude. There is an opportunity there for P-Mob.
And P-Mob is in the Dorito 3, Dorito 3 and Dorito 1.
There's a check going on for this snake corner. He's going to get pulled, and that's going to be a flag. They're going to lose number 18 alongside. That's just be 2 Altitude players left on the back row. Home and Dorito side mini temple.
So 3-on-5 with 60 to go.
All right, P-Mob, you got to go. Now is the time. You're up in bodies.
They have to know it. Yeah, and the Dorito side start to move. They move into the snake.
Moving up the middle.
And now it's a game of who can you shoot, when can you shoot.
From that can, he's going to try to blow up the home.
Does not trade.
Gets the temple. Home is going to die. That's going to be it. P-Mob's going to tie this up. 30.
And they're gonna push the buzzer with 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to play another point.
So we'll see what happens with this point. You know, do you want to go at them and risk a loss or a win? This is going for 2 in overtime. I think you don't need to.
I think as a coach you go to overtime for this reason. I think attacking in a 33-second is not the end of the world, but to attack in 33 seconds, what do you have to do? You have to run. You have to have multiple runners, right? Mm-hmm. You can't do a slow walk up the field. You got to have multiple. What does running mean? Running means a risk of not noticing a hit on you, which is crippling, especially if it's a major. Under 60 seconds, a major, it's a swing point. You lose the whole thing. So in 33 seconds, I'm probably more willing to, as a coach, just say, no. Just sit, grind it out. Let's get to overtime.
Yeah, it might be one of those situations where it's like, hey, shoot on the break, you get a kill, try and press a little.
Yes.
Maybe you get 2 kills, you try and press a lot.
Yes.
But if you get shot at, look at a ref.
Just
at.
Yeah, don't even dare risk a major. You know what's major is a chance to pick up JT Mastodon goggles from PittsburghPaintballSupply.com. I'm working on it. Thank you for sponsoring us. They do have very cool goggles. Take a look at them. This is the golden era of JT goggle collections. The last few years.
It's back, right?
Yeah. It's endless. Your options are endless. Really cool limited edition stuff hitting out there too. All right, we are in drama mode. It's 4-4, 33 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations like in the NFL where there's a Hail Mary play where referees are going to be very hesitant to like throw flags unless they're really confident.
The let them play mentality, you think?
Not necessarily let them play, but unless you're,
100%.
Like a hopper hit may or may not be a minor right now.
Yeah.
You just got to know for a fact. Like, yes, that is a definite penalty and go.
Generally, in my opinion, if I'm reffing, which I really don't do much reffing anymore, if I can see the hit occur and I can get there before the player can affect the game, I'm not going to.
That's what I mean.
I'm not going to throw the penalty.
So we're going to go through. And P-Mob's going for it.
Wow.
He is hit.
Lana's hit. He's going to take a walk. He's got a buddy falling right up
hit.
there.
So we have 20 seconds
There's
left.
a minor on the other side, though. There's going to be a counter run through.
Oh, my gosh. Kyle Weaver's hit. And we are going for it.
It is ugly. This is getting ugly.
14 seconds.
This is possible for altitude.
Barry's going to get it. Barry's going to get it. They're going to steal this game.
Wow.
What? Both teams decided to go for it. Wow. Chaos everywhere.
Cats and dogs living
Sammy
together.
Barry coming through at the end.
Holy crap.
Finding a way to just be alive and sprint to the box and steal the match.
For altitude, that's huge. They are currently 2-1 on the day. That puts them to 3-1. That pretty much punches their ticket to playoff.
Do you know if they're in a 5-team bracket?
You're going to make me get out my phone again.
If they're in a 5-team, they're in for sure. If they're in a 3-team, they're almost certainly in.
Well, that was a hell of a match. I think we were both betting on it just kind of a
yeah. I thought both. Well,
33 seconds,
and then P-Mob went for it. They sent 2 dudes down.
Yeah.
I gotta question the second Snake player's decision making for P-Mob when he saw his front player in front of him get chopped up. He should have seen that. The Doritos or the Snake side home player was just shooting the zone.
So he went right through the same lane.
He went through the same exact lane.
Yeah.
So I would question his decision-making there instead of saying, hey, I need to put paint back at this guy.
Even more frustrating for P-Mob, that minor going up on altitude gave them a glimmer of hope, and instead it didn't work out at all.
Well, that's where the 2 players lost on the Snake side. Yeah. It is entertaining.
That was highly entertaining.
And the play call by Noel was maybe better than what Altitude put out there. Altitude went all the way out to the Snake corner. Rather than going forward. So it looked like maybe they were trying to be a little grindy.
Yep.
But as soon as they got those kill 2s, they're like, screw this, I'm going.
Well, correct reaction by Denver Altitude. They hung in there, they punched back, and they're going to punch their ticket onto the playoffs, no doubt. For P-Mob, that's pretty much the end of the weekend for them. They're going to have to regroup, come back, and I think it's Vegas is next.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City, I'm sorry. Atlantic City is next.
Wrong casino town.
Yeah, well, one way or another, we're taking our money. Anyways, that is going to be it for that match. Also, congratulations to Protocol. They're going to move on to the finals. Likely we'll see them tomorrow and Sunday. Dan, thank you so much.